mission to keep as many men on as many guns for as long as possible. We called him Doc. Welcome to Combat Vet Vision. And now your host, Aaron Chief Seabird.
The only way, and the sun bidding goodbye. Hey, welcome to Combat Vet Vision. Hey, this is a place where I get to really kind of talk about anything that's going on in my life. Being a combat vet, coming back, dealing with being blown up in 2006, took over 100 pieces of shrapnel, had my last rites read to me. But it's also a place where I get to bring other vets on to tell their story and really get to know their transition and some really cool things that are going on in their lives, or some difficult things, some chaotic stuff that's going on in our lives. But hey, man, I'm really glad I got Eric Perez on deck today. He's a 3-4 Marine, and he's got a really cool story, and he's moving forward in a positive direction as well. So I really look forward to having him, and we're going to talk to him for a little bit. So Eric, hey, welcome to the show, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Chief.
And mate, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm great. I'm solid. Enjoying today. Grateful for it.
Cool. Hey, we'll talk a little bit about, we're going to get into a lot of things. We're going to get to you're a Marine. Talk about why you joined the Marine Corps, and then you're owner operator of Dump Pros, and you're doing it, man. You're doing your life. You're living it, and you're pushing yourself in some really good directions. Talk a little bit about your Marine Corps career, brother.
All right. So I grew up in Santa Ana and saw the neighborhood where I grew up was very, gang infested, and that was just a culture, and I wanted to change that up. I saw that wasn't the direction I really wanted to go. So, I was in high school, my senior year, thinking, what's the biggest challenge I could put in front of me? And I said, man, the Army sounded good, the Navy sounded good, but I was like, man, I wanted something that was gonna push me to no end. And I thought the Marines were the hardest, and they had the best dressed blues, and so they, I wanted to go down that path. It took a lot to go in. I first went in, I scored an 11 on my ASVAB, and that was like a kick in my teeth, because I didn't realize how unprepared I was for that type of testing. And so I had to relearn math, reading, comprehension, and things like that. So, I started practicing that and applying that, really hitting the books. And so, long story short, I ended up getting a 68 on my ASVAB, and I was the recruiter asked me what I wanted to be. I said infantry. They give you 3 lines for what you want, and I remember saying kill, 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 and I was just in that way, just motivated. I didn't know what direction, but that was it. I just wanted to find out this new purpose of life. So went in 03 of March 17th, actually, right when the invasion was happening. We were in boot camp, and just being motivated by those that were crossing the line of departure. And I didn't know that yet, but just I would hear the drill instructors screaming, give them one for being out there in Iraq. So anyways, got through that, went to School of Infantry and Camp Pendleton, and I became a machine gunner. And once I got that purpose, I really gravitated to it. I felt like that was my calling. I can remember being a little kid and playing water gun fights with my hose. That was my machine gun while I was a little kid. So it just seemed right that I was living out my dream. And so fast forward, I got selected to go to 3-4, which was a battalion that was known for being in the armpit of America, which is 29 Palms. They call it the stumps. Driving up there after graduating School of Infantry, I was just blown away of how desolate and far away from civilization this 29 pounds was. But once I got there, got to know the unit and their history, and just started growing in that way. And our battalion was up for a unit deployment out to Okinawa, Japan, and we flew out there in December, and just was preparing to go to Iraq. We were told that we weren't going to go. The news was going off saying that we had just found Saddam Hussein, so we didn't have to. Our mission was going to be pulled back, and we were just going to go on a unit deployment and stay in Okinawa. And our first sergeant and our sergeant major gave it to us and told us that despite the rumors, we're still going to Iraq. And everybody was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's the way." So go to Iraq. We were stationed in, or I was stationed in Haditha, the dam, and we got to do our area of operations out in Barwana, Haditha, Hoklania, and just patrol. I was in a CATT unit, which is a combined anti-tank team for weapons company out in 3-4. And we were doing patrol, route clearance, and mounted patrols. So that was our mission until we got to April. We got called up to the big leagues to go to Fallujah, the first one, and we did that. Got to implement all the skills that I learned and all the tactics that we got to practice. We got to put them in real life situations and scenarios, and I'm back. I made it, so I'm grateful for that. A lot of great times, a lot of great experiences. Coming back from Iraq, I hurt my knee on a run, and I just I started to get real complacent with being back and being part of the Remain Behind party, and I was very idle. I got the woe was me mentality that hit, and that was a time of growth, but not in the way that I thought it was going to be. I thought the growth was going to be that I would surpass it and overcome it. I did, but in a different way. I just didn't see it the way it was. I saw the frustration mountain. It was like, all right, I need to get out of here. I'm done with playing this life. So I made a choice. I smoked weed, and I got drug popped, and I got OTH'd out, and that was my military career.
Wow, that's a lot of, when you talk about it, it seems like the pinnacle of your life is to train hard and then go to war and then come back and go through some of this stuff and becoming complacent. You had to find a new purpose. When you went out, how was your path for transition? And then was did you suffer some setbacks? Did you find some excitement again? What became your driving purpose after going through that?
Okay. My transition was very simple. They really pushed me out. They being the process of getting out of the Marine Corps was a very rapid one, and I was okay with that. I wanted to move on to the next phase, and well, the next phase was just I was working with my father-in-law. He was a tile setter, and he had a lot of work. I was working as a tile setter, and I knew I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. So I reached out thinking that I reached out to the VA, and I wasn't yet rated or anything like that. So when I did go to get rated, I took my DD 214 and my paperwork to the VA, and I remember it was a an Air Force vet that was working there, and he had looked at my discharge and my paperwork. He ripped it up in front of me and said, "You don't deserve to. You don't rate any benefits." And so he ripped up my paperwork, and I said, "All right, well, fuck it. I don't need it. I can move past it." And I just I was everything tasted bitter at that time. It was a time of my outlook on life was very negative, and I I saw the negative in everything, and I choose to see it. And when I found that that wasn't the way I needed to go. I didn't want to deal with that after getting that in my face. I just said, well, fuck it. I'll just move on in a different way. I'll work. I don't need the VA to help me out. And my wife wrote up my package and did all that. So anyways, she submitted, and I ended up getting rated like 7 months later. And so I didn't realize that she had done that. I had thrown all my paperwork in the trash and thinking like, all right, well, we're moving in another direction. So anyways, um, I was working, and I just felt like that was something I knew. I knew how to labor. I knew how to. I was a grunt. I knew how to grind and just keep moving, and not really in a direction that I wanted to, but in a sense that I did want that. I wanted to know what it felt like to be on that. Or why else would I go through it? So I I got my license, a contractor's license, and I was working for Home Depot. I was their contractor for tile installation and stuff like that. So I had a crew working for me. I had 4 guys, and just I was doing the contracting life, and dealing with that. So that was money was a somewhat of a motivator. It allowed me freedom and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, that's a lot of stuff, man. It's incredible that your wife put this package together and you got rated that 7 months later. And you know, now I think it's really cool this company you have, this dumpster company, that basically you can rent this dumpster and get it all filled up with whatever you got the dirt capability and earth moving stuff to this whole recycling capability. So whatever's thrown in there, you come and pick it up and so forth. Talk a little bit about that and why that's been such a cool job for you, and what was the transition from Home Depot to obviously saying, hey, I want to have my own business doing something else. So talk about that.
Yeah. So, I have to talk about what got me to that point, right? So, the um, in 2012, I had surgery on my knee, and I knew I needed to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to do the laboring portion anymore. I wanted to move in a different direction, and at the point, I was frustrated with the that I had surgery on my knee. I was told by the doctors that I'd get fat and lazy, and all of this, all of these uphill battles, right? So I said, well, fuck it and fuck you. I'm gonna do my best to do what I want to do, and go fuck yourself. I had lost. I was 220 at the time, and after my recovery, I was 175 pounds. So I dropped a lot of weight, and started running, started doing P90X, um, and biking, stuff like that. So I used that as my fuel to motivate me. You tell me I can't do it, I'm gonna make sure that I can, and prove you wrong, and enjoy the process. of it. So that time I went to the VA. I was getting help. I was doing group therapy, and I had done that for about 6 months. And somebody was talking about school, and I thought, like, yeah, school. It had been about 12 years that had passed between me going back to school, and I was just thinking, like, I remember how dumb I felt while I was in school, having to read out loud in front of a class, and all these intimidating things that made me feel like I wasn't worthy of it. So I said, well, fuck it. If you're running away from it, why don't you challenge yourself and see what time it is? See what you can do. See what you could really create out of this. So I went back to school. I started off in the lowest math, the lowest English, um, everything just brand new, right? So I felt grateful that I was able to start at the bottom, because I knew that was my building block. And I went to Norco College. I got my AA, and I was also so I transferred from there with the mindset of being a veteran readjustment counselor. That I felt like they really helped me out and pointed me in a direction other than my own mind and my own self. So be a service is what I thought. And so I transferred to the University of Irvine, UCI, and I studied sociology and Chicano Latino studies. I graduated 2020, and man, I even made the dean's list, the honor roll, man. So I felt like, man, here I was thinking I was gonna be a fucking turd, barely scrambling by, But I really tried to push myself, and my family was definitely a big key to that. Seeing my wife, she went back to school. She also got her BA, and so we were both going to school and raising our family together. She was at UCR and I was at UCI, and so we have three sons: Raul, Joaquin, and Joshua. Shout out to them. And so what pulled me forward? Um, 2021, we had a house flood, and my the contractor that was doing the mitigation had mentioned that there was an opportunity if I wanted to dump stuff for him. I had trailer. I have a trailer, a utility trailer. It wasn't a big thing, but I had a truck to throw it away. And so I just saw that there was an opportunity, and I asked him for more jobs and more jobs, and that's where I felt like that was an opportunity to try something different, and I just figured that it was my working party. I just saw that as, oh well, fuck it, it's just we're just cleaning, we're just picking things up. It's no big deal. Other people labor and don't want it, but I just saw that it was a very lucrative move. I didn't have a big truck or a big trailer at the moment, but I heard Lex Friedman say that we're young enough to make mistakes and move past them, even if so why not go for it? So I was like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna invest on a trailer, a dump trailer. I'm gonna invest on a truck. So I bought a F450, and it was a used F450 and a brand new Texas Pride trailer. And I found other jobs out there, other management companies. And so while the pandemic was going on, I really felt like we were thriving, because there was a lot of people not wanting to move in that direction. But we were fortunate enough to jump on board, and we made moves to buy containers, roll off containers, and that's the path that we're getting pulled in right now. So as far as knowing any part of the business. I'm still growing in it. But there's other vets that that's called the Trash Talk Radio podcast or something like that, and you know, Army vets talking about the junk removal, and so it just trying to open up this path of whatever this experience is, man.
Yeah, and that's a really cool. You got a really cool story, because obviously, you talk about scoring 6 on the ASVAB and then studying for that and getting to the point where you graduated college and did some other things. You got to feel pretty motivated in that direction. And what's cool is, like, you felt like you still wanted to help vets, and you're still obviously, I know I talked to you about a year and a half ago or so, and then I obviously reconnected with you because you came over to Warrior Built and checked it out the other night. And Eric Ellis introduced us originally, and that's what's cool. He's in our story. He's been friends with you for some time, and that's a cool story in itself. But talk a little bit about why is it why is it important for you to kind of stay in contact with a battle buddy, or why does that you've even said, we talked a little bit about, you even want to someday get to a point where you're giving some veterans some jobs. So, you're a veteran owned, veteran ran business, but you don't have to do the labor either. That's what's kind of cool. You talk about dropping these things off, letting them get filled, and then coming back 7 days and snagging them up. And the price is pretty reasonable. And obviously it's expensive in the world of things, but when you look at things, I don't know what it's like, but I think it's such a cool job that you have, such a cool project, an opportunity in life, that you're doing something that you're enjoying probably. And it seems like it when we talk about some of those things, man. It's really cool.
Yeah. So the battle buddy, I met Eric Ellis at a Team Simplify event out in Sacramento last year. I had received an email from the fund saying if I wanted to do a biking event, and I was 2 days out of the hospital. I had a cancerous tumor removed out of my chest, and they had severed. It was a thymoma. They'd severed my diaphragm, and I was just looking. I was like, all right, well, how the fuck am I gonna get better? I can't get better by not doing anything. I gotta stay motivated and keep pushing. And so the doctor said I can get up and move around and start running as soon as a month. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go in that way. I signed up for this biking clinic, and it was a mountain bike experience. That he was my roommate. He was like, I went into the room, and he was like, hey, my name is Eric. And I said, oh shit, my name is Eric too. And he goes, oh yeah, what unit were you with? And I said 3-4. He's like, fuck you, 3-4. And I was like, yeah, man. He was like, yeah, I was in 3-4 too. And just you talk about similarities and likenesses, and I really gravitated to him, and really kicked it off with him. A lot of fun stories. He was sober, and I had changed my relationship with the alcohol, and I had really had a great time with him, and getting to know him, and I wanted to foster that relationship because I felt like there was something deep and meaningful. So we reached out and stayed in contact, and we do bike rides together, and we're constantly checking in, whether it's a stupid Instagram share or whatever. It's just, hey buddy, I'm here. Go fuck yourself. I hope your day's going great. Just whatever So that's super important to me. I guess I didn't know that. I thought I had to fight it on my own at times, and at times I did need to do that. I did need to stay within myself and ask the questions that I needed to. But And I felt like there was a lot of knowledge out there with other vets, you know, to be able to gather some of that trials that I didn't have to go through talking to them. You know, that was the beauty of group. That was the beauty of what we're doing right now, having that community that we can just reach back and be like, hey, I need a little bit of so and so today, or whatever, and use that as fuel and motivation to keep driving forward, because that's important. That we need that fuel sometimes.
Yeah, I will say, it's really awesome to listen to you, to hear your story, to see that you went through a lot of growth. I talk a lot about post-traumatic growth in my community of all the guys that are dealing with stuff, and you've grown a lot. And obviously, these things that mean a lot to you, um, you know, that impact and the camaraderie, like you said, it becomes, you don't necessarily need the VA groups all the time. You don't need a group for this or that, but you may want to just reach out sometimes and just have, like you said, like that time with somebody. And the fact that you call Eric up and you use the word, hey, fuck you, I hope you have a good day today, right? Some civilians may not understand that. So some people that we have listening may not understand that, but that's the camaraderie that exists within us. I mean, when I got blown up, the very first phone call I got from my MIT team, my buddy was like, hey man, you're such a quitter. And they're like, dude, but that's the camaraderie. I wouldn't have, I would have, I love that. That's the camaraderie that I had, and that's the camaraderie I still have. And so for you to bring it to the forefront right here, and oh yeah, and the knife hand, might not be legal out there, but it's really cool to listen to you, and your story is epic and really cool. I'm glad you're doing it, and doing everything that you want, you know, and feel free to talk about anything else before we close out of here. And then, one of the cool things about it is, it's to get a hold of him is that, to look at his site, it's dumpyourshit.net. So, it's just like a really cool camaraderie piece too. But if somebody wants to get a hold of you, feel free to tell them how to do that, Eric. And you know Dump Pros, that's his business, and that's what he's doing. So any last words, and any way to get a hold of you, feel free, brother.
All right. Last words is, man, fucking enjoy this experience that you're on, whatever this is for you. I know for me, I'm enjoying it, and I think that it's a great time. I love the shit out of myself. I didn't used to, but goddamn, I love myself right now, and it's a beautiful thing. And you can
Well,
get a
thanks,
hold of
brother.
me
And
at
yeah, how
yeah.
to get a hold of you?
You can my website www.dumpyourshit.net. You can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram. Um, yeah, so that's where we're at.
And as always, you can get a hold of him through me right here on Combat Vet Vision, all over the place. I'm all over the place. Eric, thanks a lot for being here, brother. Much appreciation, much love, and it's an honor to have you on the show. I know I wanted to get you on here some time ago, but to get to know you a little bit better and actually have you here is really cool, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir. All right.
Hey, this is Combat Vet Vision. This is a great place, a great avenue. I normally talk about Warrior Built PTSD Foundation of America stuff, and these are two organizations that I'm part of, and then obviously Combat Vet Vision. Sometimes I forget to even mention that when I'm talking to people that I have a podcast. But this podcast is also a force multiplier to helping out combat vets, to give them that idea or puzzle piece that they might be missing. It's there to educate the public, to give them a chance to take a look into our world, and kind of see some of the tickings of how things kind of work, even though the articulation of it might not always reflect, but it happens here. And it's great to have the guests that I do. If you're an organization, if you're a veteran that wants to get on my show, please hit me up. And if you have any questions, anything you want to throw out there, please do that as well. But until next time, hey, this is Aaron Siebert, combat wounded 2006 Navy Chief, retired. Strength and honor out.